Have you ever wondered why some people seem unshaken by life's storms, while others crumble at the first sign of difficulty? What if I told you the answer lies not in external circumstances, but within yourself? Imagine for a moment that you possess the power to face any challenge, to stand firm in the face of adversity, and to turn obstacles into stepping stones. This isn't some far-fetched dream. This is the core of Stoicism, a philosophy as old as the ancient Roman Empire, yet as relevant today as ever. In this video, we're going to explore how focusing on yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your inner strength, can transform not just the way you handle problems, but the way you experience life itself. We will walk through 8 powerful Stoic principles that, if applied, can change your outlook on life. Whether you're facing personal challenges, striving for self-improvement, or just curious about how to live with more purpose and clarity, this journey is for you. Stay with me till the end of this video, because what you'll discover about yourself might just be the key to unlocking a life of inner peace, resilience, and true freedom. Are you ready to begin? 1. Practice temperance and moderation. Why is it that, in a world full of abundance, we so often feel like something is missing? Perhaps the issue isn't a lack of things, but a lack of balance. The Stoics believed that temperance, the practice of moderation, is key to living a fulfilling life. But what does that mean for us in the modern world? Let's take a moment to reflect. Think about your daily habits. How often do you indulge in things that feel good in the moment, but leave you feeling empty afterward? Whether it's overindulging in food, spending hours on social media, or seeking validation from others, these are forms of excess that Stoicism warns us about. When we chase after more, we often lose sight of what truly matters. Temperance isn't about deprivation, it's about balance. Imagine your life as a boat navigating through the ocean. Without moderation, you could easily be tossed around by the waves, pulled by desires, distractions, and fleeting pleasures. But with temperance, you hold the rudder steady, steering through the storm toward your true purpose. Ask yourself, when was the last time you practiced restraint in a moment of temptation? When did you last choose long-term happiness over short-term pleasure? These small, daily decisions shape the course of your life. Each time you practice moderation, you strengthen your inner resilience, building a foundation for lasting contentment. Stoicism teaches us that happiness comes not from acquiring more, but from needing less. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In a world that often pushes us to crave excess, how might your life change if you learn to embrace the beauty of simplicity? Temperance asks us to pause and question our actions. Is this necessary? Is this helping me become the person I want to be? By practicing self-control, you clear space in your life for what truly matters: meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a sense of peace that isn't tied to external circumstances. As you move forward, challenge yourself to find moderation in all things. When you eat, eat just enough. When you work, give it your full attention, but know when to rest. Temperance, practiced daily, can transform your life in subtle but profound ways. So, how can you start incorporating temperance into your routine today? What areas of your life could benefit from a little more balance? Let's take this moment to reflect before we move on to the next powerful Stoic principle: accepting impermanence. 2. Accept impermanence. Embrace the ever-changing nature of life. How often do we cling to the things we love, only to feel pain when they slip away? Why do we resist change, knowing that everything in life is in a constant state of flux? The Stoic philosophy teaches us a profound truth. Impermanence is not something to fear, but something to accept. In fact, It's only through embracing impermanence that we can truly find peace. Consider for a moment the nature of life itself. Everything around us is in motion. People come and go, situations change, and even the seasons shift before our eyes. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, famously wrote, "Everything is in a state of change, and this is what life consists of. To fight against the inevitable changes of life is to set ourselves up for frustration. Instead, what if we learned to welcome it? Ask yourself, what are you holding on to right now that is causing you stress or fear? Is it a relationship, a job, or even a version of yourself that no longer fits who you are today?" The Stoic practice of accepting impermanence invites us to let go of our tight grip on things we cannot control and instead focus on what is within our power, our own attitudes and actions. When we resist change, we create suffering for ourselves. We cling to the past, trying to hold on to moments that are already gone. Or we worry about the future, fearing what might come next. But the truth is, the past no longer exists, and the future is uncertain. All we have is the present moment, and it is constantly evolving. Accepting this truth is the key to inner peace. In Stoicism, the idea of impermanence extends beyond just accepting change. It helps us understand the importance of appreciating the present. Since everything is fleeting, we must learn to value each moment for what it is. This doesn't mean living in fear of loss, but embracing the beauty of the now. Each moment, each experience, each relationship is precious precisely because it will not last forever. How might your life change if you began to see impermanence as a gift rather than a burden? What if, instead of fearing the inevitable changes, you embraced them as opportunities for growth? When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we begin to live with greater intention. We no longer take things for granted because we understand their temporary nature. Next time you face a change that feels overwhelming, pause and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Life is a river, always flowing, always moving. Instead of standing against the current, why not let yourself be carried by it? In doing so, you might discover a sense of peace and resilience you never knew you had. And now that we've embraced the impermanence of life, let's explore how courage, especially in our daily lives, helps us navigate this ever-changing landscape. 3. Courage in everyday decisions, finding strength in the small moments. When you hear the word courage, what comes to mind? Perhaps images of heroes on the battlefield or daring feats of bravery. But Stoicism teaches us that courage is not reserved for grand, dramatic moments. In fact, courage is something we live out in the small, everyday decisions we make. It's the strength to face our fears, to act with integrity, and to stand firm in the face of adversity, no matter how ordinary or mundane the situation may seem. Think about your daily life. How many times have you been confronted with a situation that required courage, even in small ways? Maybe it was the courage to speak up in a meeting, the courage to admit when you were wrong, or the courage to get out of bed on a day when life felt overwhelming. These are not acts of heroism in the traditional sense, but they are acts of courage nonetheless. Stoicism tells us that true courage lies in our ability to face life's challenges with determination and resilience, no matter how small those challenges may appear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Each obstacle you face is an opportunity to demonstrate your strength. Each moment of fear is a chance to choose bravery. But how do we cultivate this everyday courage? The key is in practice. Every time you choose to face a challenge rather than avoid it, you are building your capacity for courage. It's in the small choices we make each day, the decision to act with integrity, to tell the truth even when it's difficult, to stand up for what is right, that we strengthen our inner resolve. Ask yourself, Where in your life can you practice more courage? Is there a difficult conversation you've been avoiding? A fear you've been letting hold you back? Remember, courage isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. Now, here's a challenge for you. The next time you're faced with a situation that makes you uncomfortable or afraid, take a deep breath and choose courage. It might be something small, like voicing your opinion or trying something new. Whatever it is, embrace the discomfort. The more you practice, the more natural courage will become. As we reflect on courage, remember that this journey of Stoicism and self-growth is a process, and it's one worth sticking with. If you're finding value in this content, be sure to stay with us till the end, because what's coming next is just as important. Together, we'll uncover even more tools to help you live with strength and purpose. And now that we've strengthened our courage, let's move on to the power of self-examination, where true growth begins. 4. The power of self-examination. True growth begins within. How often do you pause and take a look at yourself, not in the mirror, but at your thoughts, actions, and emotions? The ancient Stoics believed that true growth starts with honest self-examination. Without regularly reflecting on our own lives, it becomes easy to drift off course, living reactively rather than purposefully. But what if you made it a habit to pause and truly examine yourself? What changes might that bring? Self-examination is one of the most powerful tools for personal development in Stoicism. The philosopher Seneca advised us to end each day with reflection, asking ourselves, what bad habit have you cured today? What fault have you resisted? In what respect are you better? These questions guide us to notice the subtle ways we might be slipping away from our virtues, and they give us a chance to correct our course before we stray too far. Think about the last time you reacted in anger or let fear guide your decisions. Did you take the time afterward to understand why? So often, we act out of impulse, driven by emotions that we fail to question. But the Stoic practice of self-examination encourages us to step back and analyze our reactions, to look deeper into the reasons behind them. What was driving your anger? What fear or insecurity fueled that response? When we practice self-examination, we become detectives of our own behavior. We start to notice patterns in how we think and react. Over time, this awareness allows us to make more deliberate, thoughtful choices, aligning our actions with our values. Self-examination isn't about self-criticism or judgment. It's not about beating ourselves up over past mistakes. Instead, it's a tool for growth. The purpose is to learn and improve. Marcus Aurelius constantly reflected on his own behavior, writing in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This reminder speaks to the importance of action over words. Reflection without action is meaningless. So, how can you start incorporating self-examination into your daily routine? Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day, perhaps before bed or during your morning meditation. Reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotions throughout the day. Ask yourself, did I act according to my values? Did I live with courage, wisdom, and temperance? If not, what can I do differently tomorrow? Imagine the impact this practice could have on your life. By regularly reflecting on your own actions, you become more mindful of how you move through the world. You become more in tune with your true self, and you cultivate the ability to correct your path when you stray. Over time, this habit of reflection can lead to profound personal growth. As you start to build this practice into your routine, remember that self-examination is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment to learning and growth. Each day brings new opportunities for reflection and improvement, and with each reflection, you inch closer to the best version of yourself. Now that we've uncovered the power of self-examination, let's turn to the next key Stoic principle, embracing obstacles as opportunities for growth. 5. Embrace obstacles. turning challenges into opportunities. How often do we encounter obstacles in life and see them as roadblocks? What if, instead, we viewed these challenges as opportunities for growth? This is the essence of Stoicism, embracing what life throws at us, not as something to fear or avoid, but as a means to develop ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective transforms how we see difficulties, turning them into our greatest teachers. Think about the last challenge you faced. How did you approach it? Did you feel defeated, frustrated, or overwhelmed? It's natural to feel these emotions, but Stoicism asks us to go deeper. Instead of seeing the obstacle as a barrier, what if you viewed it as a puzzle, one that's meant to help you grow stronger and wiser? When we embrace obstacles with this mindset, they stop being something to fear and become tools for our personal development. Each time we face a challenge, we have the opportunity to test and improve our character. Adversity becomes the forge where our resilience, patience, and courage are strengthened. Ask yourself, what challenges are you facing right now? How might these be shaping you into a better version of yourself? Whether it's a difficult relationship, a setback at work, or a personal struggle, consider how these obstacles are teaching you patience, resilience, or humility. Instead of running from difficulties, step into them with the knowledge that they are here to help you grow. One of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism is that it encourages us to focus on what we can control: our reactions, our decisions, our thoughts. We cannot control the external world, but we can control how we respond to it. This shift in perspective changes everything. When we understand that our power lies in our response, we stop feeling like victims of circumstance and start feeling like the architects of our own lives. So the next time life presents you with an obstacle, pause. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? By changing the way you view challenges, you turn every difficulty into an opportunity for self-improvement. Now, here's a thought for you. How have the obstacles in your life shaped who you are today? Take a moment to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could be a source of inspiration for others on their Stoic journey. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's dive into the next principle: mindfulness and living in the present moment. 6. Mindfulness and living in the present, the power of the now. How often do you find yourself caught in the past, replaying old memories, or anxiously anticipating the future? We live in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, regrets about what has happened, or fears about what might happen. But Stoicism teaches us a profound lesson. The only reality we truly have is the present moment. Everything else is an illusion, and by learning to live fully in the now, we can reclaim our peace of mind. The Stoics were masters of mindfulness long before the term became popular. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of focusing on the present. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Why? Because when you focus on the here and now, you free yourself from the burden of things you cannot change, namely the past and the future. Ask yourself, how often do you truly live in the present moment? When you're eating, are you savoring each bite, or are you distracted by thoughts of your next task? When you're spending time with loved ones, are you fully engaged, or is your mind elsewhere? The truth is, many of us live on autopilot, constantly thinking about what comes next. But this robs us of the richness of life. Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in the present because it is the only thing we can control. The past is beyond our reach, and the future is uncertain. But this moment, right now, is where life is happening. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. We can acknowledge them without letting them pull us away from the present. Mindfulness isn't about forcing yourself to be happy or ignoring your problems. It's about recognizing that your power lies in how you respond to what is happening in this very moment. When you practice mindfulness, you develop the ability to stay calm, centered, and aware, even when life becomes chaotic. Imagine how your life might change if you were fully present in each moment. What if, instead of worrying about tomorrow, you focused on doing your best today? How would your relationships improve if you gave your full attention to the people in front of you? How would your work improve if you poured all of your energy into the task at hand? Take a moment now. Pause. Breathe. Feel the weight of your body where you're sitting. Notice the sounds around you. This is the present. This is life unfolding. Stoicism invites you to live with intention in each moment, to be fully engaged in the now, because this is where your power lies. As we embrace the power of mindfulness, we strengthen our ability to face life with clarity and purpose. But mindfulness alone is not enough. It must be paired with the wisdom of knowing what is within our control and what is not. Next, let's explore the Stoic principle of accepting what is beyond our control, a practice that brings great inner peace and resilience. 7. Accept what is beyond your control. Finding freedom in letting go. How many times have you found yourself stressed or frustrated over something you couldn't control? Perhaps it was someone else's behavior, an unexpected event, or the outcome of a situation. One of the most liberating teachings of Stoicism is the understanding that peace comes from focusing on what you can control and letting go of everything else. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is this simple but profound truth. We cannot control external events. What we can control, however, is our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of Stoicism, mastering our inner world, even when the outer world is beyond our grasp. Take a moment to think about the things that cause you stress. How many of them are outside your control? Maybe it's the actions of others, the state of the world, or even the weather. The Stoics would encourage you to step back and ask, "Can I change this?" If the answer is no, then the only rational response is acceptance. Why? Because fighting against what we cannot change only leads to suffering. But acceptance does not mean passivity. It means directing your energy where it can make a difference, on your own thoughts and behaviors. When you focus on what you can control, you reclaim your power. You shift from being a victim of circumstances to the master of your own responses. Ask yourself, what are the things you are currently trying to control that are beyond your reach? How much time and energy are you wasting on things that will never be within your power? Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of these burdens and focused only on what you can influence. This principle is incredibly practical. It means that when a challenge arises, you immediately separate what is within your control from what is not. If it's within your control, you act with wisdom and courage. If it's beyond your control, you practice acceptance and let it go. This mindset not only reduces stress, but it also allows you to face life's challenges with greater strength and clarity. Living this way might seem difficult at first, especially in a world that constantly pushes us to control everything. But with practice, the Stoic approach becomes second nature, and the freedom it brings is unparalleled. Imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if you no longer tried to control the uncontrollable. As we conclude this reflection, think about your own life. What can you let go of? What burdens are you carrying that are not yours to carry? By practicing this Stoic principle, you can start to experience a sense of freedom and peace that comes from focusing only on what is within your power. Now that we've explored the importance of letting go of what's beyond our control, let's dive into another critical Stoic virtue, self-control, and how it shapes the way we live. 8. Growth through self-control, mastering your inner world. What does true freedom look like? Is it the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want? Or is it something deeper, an internal mastery over your thoughts, emotions, and actions? For the Stoics, true freedom lies in self-control, the ability to govern oneself with discipline and purpose. This virtue is at the heart of Stoicism and serves as the foundation for a life lived with integrity and wisdom. In a world that often glorifies indulgence and excess, self-control may seem like a restriction, but in reality, it's the key to living a life of true fulfillment. Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. Think about that for a moment. How often do we allow our impulses, desires, or emotions to dictate our actions? How often do we make decisions based on fleeting feelings rather than careful reflection? Self-control is not about denying yourself pleasure or joy. Instead, it's about mastering your reactions and desires so that they don't master you. When you practice self-control, you create space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose your actions wisely. Imagine how different your life could be if, instead of reacting out of anger or fear, you paused, reflected, and then responded with calmness and clarity. Ask yourself, where in your life could you use more self-control? Is it in how you manage your time, your relationships, your emotions? Perhaps you find yourself overindulging in food, entertainment, or distractions, knowing that these things don't serve your long-term goals. The Stoics encourage us to practice moderation in all things, to be mindful of our habits and tendencies, and to choose actions that align with our higher purpose. One of the most powerful aspects of self-control is that it empowers you to focus on what truly matters. When you are no longer at the mercy of your impulses, you can direct your energy toward the things that lead to personal growth and fulfillment. This is why self-control is central to Stoicism. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life of virtue. Consider the next time you face a temptation or an emotional trigger. Instead of immediately reacting, pause. Ask yourself, is this action in line with my values? Will this bring me closer to the person I want to become? In that moment of reflection, you reclaim your power. You move from being reactive to being intentional. Self-control also extends to how we manage our thoughts. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control what thoughts enter our minds, we do have control over how we engage with them. Instead of letting negative or harmful thoughts dominate your mind, practice observing them without judgment and letting them pass. This mental discipline strengthens your inner resolve and allows you to maintain peace even in challenging circumstances. As you cultivate self-control, you begin to notice a profound shift in how you experience life. You become less swayed by external events and more grounded in your own values and principles. This is the freedom that Stoicism offers, the freedom to live a life of purpose, free from the chaos of unchecked desires and emotions. With this newfound mastery over your inner world, you can approach life's challenges with confidence and clarity. And as we conclude this reflection on self-control, it's important to recognize that this virtue, like all Stoic practices, is something you develop over time. Each day presents new opportunities to practice, to grow, and to refine your ability to govern yourself. Living by Stoic principles is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong journey, a daily practice of mindfulness, self-reflection, and intentional action. Each day offers new opportunities to grow, to refine your character, and to live in accordance with the virtues that Stoicism teaches. Start each morning with intention. As Marcus Aurelius advised, remind yourself of the challenges you will face and prepare your mind for them. Reflect on the virtues you wish to practice, whether it's courage, wisdom, temperance, or justice. This morning reflection sets the tone for your day, helping you to approach life with clarity and purpose. Throughout the day, practice mindfulness and self-examination. Check in with yourself regularly. Are your actions in line with your values? Are you living in the present, or are you getting lost in worries about the past or future? These moments of reflection allow you to course correct and stay aligned with your goals. And finally, end each day with gratitude and reflection. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? By reflecting on your day, you give yourself the opportunity to learn from your experiences and improve tomorrow. Remember, the Stoic journey is not about achieving perfection, it's about progress. Each day is an opportunity to practice, to learn, and to grow. The more you engage with these principles, the more natural they become, and the more resilient, peaceful, and fulfilled you will feel. As we conclude this exploration of Stoicism, I invite you to take these practices into your life. Comment below and share which Stoic principle resonates most with you. What challenges are you currently facing, and how might Stoicism help you navigate them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you'll help spread the wisdom of Stoicism to others who are seeking a path of growth and self-mastery. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Stay strong, stay mindful, and may you continue to grow each day. Until next time, take care and keep practicing Stoicism.